SCP-7995 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures. All information regarding SCP-7995 collected from testing must be recorded in Document 7995-A. Under no circumstances are any personnel to enter SCP-7995. Sick or immunocompromised personnel are not permitted within 100 meters of said site. Description: SCP-7995 is an empty structure in the Lake District of Cumbria, UK. Despite externally resembling a typical civilian dwelling, living inside SCP-7995 would be impossible. Its actual prior function is unknown. SCP-7995 is a focal point for varying anomalous activity, with few apparent consistent themes. Tentative attempts at establishing a connecting narrative have been undertaken and recorded in Document 7995-A. Addendum 7. Sample recovered diary entries from Data Lost. Been meaning to write in here more often. It's supposed to be good for you, so here I go. Need milk. Teresa is so hot it's not fair. What am I supposed to do? For the world is hollow and I have touched the sky. God grant me the confidence to think a piece of work that mediocre warrants a title that pretentious. The ships I haunted and never sailed. They just drifted through stagnant seas. How fitting. Data Lost. Addendum 9. Interview Logs. Those interviewed: Ronald Jensen, Rachel Swan, and Elijah Katanga. The interviewee: researcher Julian Farnsworth. Forward. The three interviewees were civilians discovered in the vicinity of SCP-7995 at initial discovery. All were asked the same question separately. Thus, responses have been grouped together for convenience's sake. Begin log. Why were you present at the building when we had arrived? Well, it's my job. I'm a security guard there. I work security. It's not particularly weird. I was the night watchman. It doesn't strike me as the sort of place that I would have wanted to work in. What sort of work happened there? I honestly couldn't tell you. I applied because the pay's decent and I don't have to leave Ontario. Actually knowing when I'm guarding isn't much of a priority. That's above my pay grade. Sorta hoping that you could tell me actually. I was on my own there most of the time. Still couldn't pluck up the courage to snoop around. Can you tell me anything about the people who work there? A bit standoffish, no names, and never really stopped for a chat. You didn't learn a single person's name. What? No, I mean they don't have names. Yeah, no one works there. No one. You're going to have to clarify that, Mrs. Swan. What is there to clarify? No one works there. No one's ever worked there. I knew that when they hired me. When who hired you? Screw me. You're a bit dense, aren't you? I remember, Data Lost. He made me a coffee when he was leaving one time. Usually they were more interested in getting home than chatting to me. Couldn't tell you what they were doing, I'm sorry. Describe your day from when you arrived to when we took you in. Well, I got in, relieved rage as I got there, clocked on and got behind the desk. Yeah, I did my job like I'm supposed to. My shift started at 10, so I arrived at 1:45. Had a chat with Ronnie before he left. We talked about Carlisle's chances at promotion. Would you like to know where I thought we'd finish in the table too? I don't know, it was cold. It was pretty quiet, so I started messing on my phone. Spilled my coffee like an idiot. Would you like to know the details of exactly how many times I sneezed on the job? Would that fascinate you? was so cold. There were no tissues inside. There were no tissues inside. There were no tissues inside. And nothing else really happened, to be honest, until you got there. And then the sass broke down the door, but you were there for that bit. There isn't nothing to say, not really. Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Katanga. I'll try to let you go soon. I am curious, though. You said you work nights. Worked, yeah. Well, good in that case. I must admit, I'm rather confused as to what you were doing there when the agents had arrived. At 1:30 in the afternoon. I had to be there, but I shouldn't have been there. Do you feel any urges to go back? No, you don't understand. I have to be both, but no, that's too much. Too much. Quit while you're ahead or just quit.
Katanga begins laughing hysterically. Farnsworth edges his chair backwards.
Nearly there. Anyway, don't think I've done too badly. Mr. Katanga, it would really help your case if you could be clear regarding... What's your first name, Mr. Farnsworth? Entirely irrelevant. What? That still doesn't sit quite right. Well, I'm sorry to dredge anything up, Mr. Farnsworth, but I wish you could use it to drown me out. The thing is, Mr. Farnsworth, is that I want you to imagine you are your name. Imagine that it's everything. One little world that sums you up as a person, encapsulates your loves, hates, gives you an identity that through rain or sleet or gloom of night, you can cling to, that gives you an anchor in the storm, just a small noise that is you. Now tell someone your name. It doesn't matter who, just do it. Give them all of that. Only you can't. It won't leave. It clings to your tongue. Its spines pierce your cheeks and throat. Its tentacles reach down your esophagus and yank it back down. It slams your jaw shut so hard your teeth shatter. You gag as it squirms its way back down, and you know that it's right. It's right, Mr. Farnsworth. But I'm right, but that doesn't even matter. This isn't going anywhere. Mr. Farnsworth, it's so cold.
And log. Notes. All three were released shortly after these interviews. Each were individually administered a dose of Class C amnestics. This was later followed up with a dose of Class B amnestics, 2 doses of Class A amnestics, 4 doses of Class C amnestics, and a solution 2 parts a Class A amnestic and 2 parts a Class C amnestic. Eventually, they all signed non-disclosure agreements, requiring steady payment from the Foundation in return. Addendum 15, Exploration Log. Personnel: Agent D-94771 in field. Dr. Valerie Whitaker, base. Forward: Initial exploration of SCP-7995. Begin log. Agent looks up at the sky, shielding her eyes.
A lovely day for it. Always wanted to go to Melbourne. Hoped it would be under better circumstances. The file was pretty vague. Anything I could know going in here. Unfortunately, we don't really have any more information to give you. Oh, good. Gotten me for a brand new one then. That's distressingly exciting. We've actually been investigating this for a while now. Oh, so I'm the first one to explore it then. No. Well, grand. What can you tell me? Nothing. Great. I can already tell that you and me are gonna get on famously. You and I. Great. Shall we begin? Why not?
The agent steps up to the door.
What does it look like to you? A shed? I don't know. What do you expect to see inside? Sheddy things? Crap, I don't know. Plus, the spooky monster trying to eat me. That too, alright, you can go in. Lucky me. It's not a shed then, okay. There's a reception desk, a cloakroom to the right. No one coming to take my coat, though. You're not wearing a coat. Yeah, well, the thought that counts. The desk is full of random stuff. I don't think it's anything useful. Alright, carry on then.
The agent leaves the lobby and takes the lift to the first basement. A shadow flickers at the edge of her torchlight as the doors open to an empty laboratory, but no details can be ascertained.
What a mess. Okay, it looks pretty sciencey, but nope, computers aren't working. Anything useful about it? There's a diary, okay. Why are there always diaries? You know that could be dangerous, right? I bet it's not. The ships I haunted and never sailed, they just drifted through stagnant seas. Oh, what a prick. Move on, please, Olivia. Yeah, just hang fire for a moment. Huh. So apparently...
There's a deafening screaming and all contact is lost. Bays spent much of the next 3 hours discussing how to proceed. Extracting agent D94771 using another D-class or an MTF was proposed, and it was rejected. Instead, it has been agreed that all testing with SCP-7995 will cease.
And suddenly I see, this is what I want to be. Suddenly I see why the... Olivia, is that you? Dr. Whitaker, you there? What does the black moon howl? What the heck does that mean? It is you, good. What happened? Are you alright? Yeah, when we got cut off, I found somewhere safe looking. And I hunkered down. I picked the kitchen. And the singing. I'm bored. Shall we get on?
The agent leaves the attic and making her way back to the lift. She goes down to the first floor.
How are you feeling, by the way? Honestly? Of course. I don't like this place. It feels cold. The environment, or... Not physical, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's like being at a party where no one likes you. Although that's most parties that I've been to.
The doors open to a dusty, dimly lit corridor. The agent cautiously begins to make her way down it.
Can you elaborate? Not really. It's weird, I don't know. I'm D-class, we say stuff. What? I have to understand it too. You must have some idea. Dang it, I could have sworn that I had tissues in here. Olivia. Look, you know what happened here. No, why? Well, I do, but it doesn't matter. Oh, and why is that? Just one of a gazillion other identical things you don't understand. What's the point? It's funny, I don't even know what D-class means. Well, it means you're a prisoner that we abducted because no one would miss you, and no one would mind us doing horrible things to you. Man, you don't mince your words, do you? No, you deserve better than that. Do I? And what did I do? Armed robbery. Your mother couldn't pay the rent, apparently. No, that doesn't sound like me. At least I don't think it does. Oh yes, well, it had to be something serious enough to land you here, you see. But at the same time, you couldn't hurt anyone. It had to be something understandable. Possibly even sympathetic. I don't understand. No, you're rather not supposed to, I'm sad to say. Well, doesn't my mom miss me? I don't know, I'm not sure you're supposed to think that hard. Anyway, the more sensitive suggestion is cloning, but I'm not really sure that's a great deal less ethically dubious. No, hang on, shut up a second.
The agent reached a bulky metal door. It was gunmetal gray.
And keys are in the lock. Thank God for a bit of convenience. When you're ready then. Ready for what? No way. I ain't going anywhere near there. Alright, if you feel so strongly about it, you can start making your way back then. You're not down here, Doc. You can feed yourself to whatever monster's in there, but not me. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, not the biggest door that I've come up again.
The agent tries the door. It's sealed shut.
Not even locked, amateurs.
The agent turns and runs out of SCP-7995. Testing complete.
No ominous creak. Where is my ominous creak?
The agent shuts the door. Inside, there is human remains. It's data lost. It's the missing puzzle piece. It's 17 empty boxes of tissues. is an incomprehensible horror beyond human understanding, pulped from a half-formed nightmare and described in awkward, tortured metaphor. It's just some peace and quiet. Come on. Inside is nothing.
Not boring. Can I come back now?
End log. Addendum 19. Document 7995-A. Error. Document does not exist. Addendum 20. Memorandum from Director Thomas Walker, Site 9. My secretary directed me to this article, and I'm glad that she did. Now, if it's not too much trouble, I would like whoever wrote this document to come to my office for 9 tomorrow, where they will either receive a paper copy of this article, written as though the writer had a brain, or their P45. I want to make it clear, this shambles of a scientific piece is unacceptable. If I can't tell what it even does, you have failed at your job. I hope this is clear. And one more thing, for pity's sake. Get those redactions sorted. You're not spies if the information isn't going to melt my brain. It's for me and Raisa to decide what makes it in, not you. Expunging it from the database completely is beyond a joke. Director Walker. Addendum 21. Memorandum from Director Thomas Walker, Site 9. Thank you. This is what a proper document should look like. Don't let it happen again. Director Walker.